Hello and welcome. I'm Kriti Mehta and you're watching the World Report on NewsX World. Let's start with a check of the top headlines this hour. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has named Spy Chief Budanov as the new Chief of Staff. This comes after the dismissal of Andrei Yermak, the longtime Chief of Staff. China says President Xi Jinping will host South Korean President Lee Jae-myung from Sunday, signaling a push to strengthen ties. It is their second meeting in 2 months, with Beijing emphasizing economic cooperation and tourism amid regional strains. Saudi Arabia's foreign ministry urges Yemen's southern factions to pursue just solutions through dialogue in Riyadh. The call follows the UAE's agreement to withdraw troops after clashing with Saudi forces. Iranian police say they understand protesters' economic demands, acknowledging demonstrations as civic expressions seeking better living conditions. However, authorities warned security forces would not tolerate chaos. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres urges Israel to reverse a planned ban on 37 NGOs operating in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. He warns their work is vital to humanitarian relief. Swiss authorities says sparklers fixed to champagne bottles likely caused a deadly New Year's fire at a bar in Crans-Montana in Switzerland. Officials said flames triggered a flashover, killing at least 40 people, prompting an investigation. Tesla's annual sales fall for a second consecutive year, losing its position as the world's top EV maker to Chinese rival BYD. Tesla registrations dropped in Europe except Norway, while BYD's global sales rose to a record. Alright, viewers, and Ukrainian President Zelensky has named Spy Chief Kirilo Budanov as his new Chief of Staff, just over a month after his previous top aide resigned amid a corruption row. Budanov has until now led the Hur military intelligence, which has claimed a number of highly effective strikes against Russia. Zelensky also said he intended to replace his defense minister Denis Shmyhal, appointing his current Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, to take up the post. Zelensky has said that Mikhailo is deeply engaged in the Drone Line initiative and works very effectively on the digitalization of state services and processes. Now, joining me in this discussion is John Rossomando. He is the president of Viking Research Associates and geopolitical analyst, and joins us from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much, John, for joining me at NewsX World.
Happy New Year.
John, what's your assessment of the new candidate? When Zelensky is now entering almost the 4th year of war, do you think he'll be able to pick up from where the predecessor has left efficiently?
I'll just say that the corruption is way too deep. I mean, the entire government, you've had scandal after scandal in the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, from misspent money to weapons ending in potentially in the hands of terrorists, to you name it. I don't think this new guy is going to have much of an impact on fixing corruption any more than any of his predecessors.
All right, then what's really needed for Zelensky to, amend everything that's gone wrong so far? The country clearly needs a loyal and efficient administrator in these positions, both as Chief of Staff and as the Defense Minister.
Well, what Ukraine needs is a strong, independent, non-corrupt judiciary to clean up and prosecute the oligarchs and those who steal money out of the Ukrainian treasury for their own purposes. I think that's what's really needed. Otherwise, you'll have people. I mean, President Zelensky himself has been alleged to be corrupt and use money to buy expensive homes in South Florida here in the U.S. So it's an endemic problem.
Okay, so this new guy, Mikhailo, who's been proposed to take over as a defense minister, he's had some great work earlier as far as digitalization is concerned, and also he's done some good work with drones. Would you say that's going to be helpful?
Well, I think that this guy seems to be more of a tactical and operations guy. There's a big difference between running an entire ministry where you have to show overall arching leadership, dealing with the bureaucracy and so forth. I don't know that he has the right skills for the job.
All right. In fact, I think I'll have to thank you for now, John, for joining me in this discussion, but thanks for your perspective. And moving ahead, viewers, according to Ukrainian officials, a Russian strike on residential buildings in Kharkiv injured 19 people, including a 6-month-old baby. Governor Oleg Sinarguvov reported that victims suffered blast injuries, cuts from broken glass, and abrasions. The attack comes a day after Russia accused Kyiv of striking a hotel and a cafe in the occupied south, killing 27 people. Ukraine says that a strike hit a military gathering, not civilians. President Volodymyr Zelensky had called this attack heinous, adding that preliminary reports show 2 missiles hit an ordinary residential area. Meanwhile, Ukrainian authorities are evacuating over 3,000 children and parents from 44 frontline settlements in Zaporizhia and Dmitry Petrovsk. Russian troops continue advancing. According to reports, more than 150,000 people have been moved from frontline areas since June. Moving ahead now, viewers, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Israel to end a ban on humanitarian agencies that provided aid in Gaza and said that he was deeply concerned at the development. Stéphane Dujarric Guterres, the spokesperson, has said that Guterres calls for this measure to be reversed, stressing that international non-governmental organizations are indispensable to life-saving humanitarian work and that the suspension risks undermining the fragile progress made during the ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israel has suspended 37 foreign humanitarian organizations from accessing the Gaza Strip after they had refused to share lists of their Palestinian employees with government officials. However, the NGOs included in the ban have been ordered to cease their operations by March 1 in 2026. Now, joining me in this discussion is John Rossomando, President of Vikings Research Associates and geopolitical analyst. Thanks for staying on, John, with us. Of course, the UN has called for Israel to, reverse NGOs ban, but do you think it's going to have any effect as intended?
Oh, let's look at the NGOs. They are all connected with the Palestinian terrorist organizations. I mean, talk about Shawan Jabari. The guy's a front man and a member of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine terrorist organization. Look there. I mean, the United States has called for an end of the United Nations involvement, with direct support in Gaza, and for other bodies to take over the provision of aid. I think that we've seen that the United Nations is not a neutral partner in this, is a partisan on behalf of Hamas, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, and other Palestinian terrorist organizations.
Yeah, and how do you see the fact that these NGOs had in fact not gotten them registered even when Israel had given a very long time for them to get registered. And then the ban came.
Well, I think that you have to look at the fact that the intelligence shows that these NGOs were either employing people who are connected with these terrorist organizations, supportive of these terrorist organizations, and so forth, and not real operating NGOs. I mean, any NGO that operates, at least in the part of Gaza that's still controlled by Hamas, is subject to Hamas. So I don't see the United Nations as a neutral body in this particular conflict.
All right, sure. And what do you think of the Gaza ceasefire? The Zelensky and Trump have met recently. Is there any progress likely, in your opinion, in that direction?
Hamas has no interest in disarming, and there's nobody who's willing to go in there and be part of an international military body to disarm Hamas. Which, if that were to happen, would put it into combat. I mean, the only people who are willing to do that are the IDF, and it defeats the purpose of having this ceasefire, which is turning into a farce.
All right, yeah. Sure. Thanks then, John, for joining me and giving your perspective here to News Extra World viewers. And moving ahead now, let's bring you some news from Pakistan, where a Pakistani anti-terrorism court has sentenced 8 journalists and social media commentators to life imprisonment in absentia, linking them to violent protests after the brief arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan on May 9 in 2023. Authorities said the convicted individuals promoted fear and unrest through online activity, falling under Pakistan's terrorism laws. Most of those sentenced are believed to be outside the country and did not appear in court. The ruling includes additional prison terms and fines, with further jail time if fines are unpaid. Critics, including some of the convicted and media watchdogs, have called the decision political, claiming due process was ignored. The sentences are now subject to confirmation by the Islamabad High Court. Alright, I now welcome Ambassador Mahit Sachdev, who is a former Indian diplomat, to join me in this discussion. Well, thank you very much, sir, for joining me and for giving us your time. Of course, Pakistan is in no good shape on any parameter, whether it's its politics, whether it's its economy, and now we're also seeing how press of freedom is almost dead in Pakistan, with this fresh news coming in. How do you assess it?
Thank you for having me, Kirti. Yeah, you are right. Pakistan is passing through a fairly turbulent phase, and this is partly to do with the political system, which has been in turmoil since Imran Khan was ousted 3 years ago, and he's undergoing a severe sentence in Pakistan, and he is also subject to a number of other cases that are ongoing. His supporters have been also cashiered and banned from political activity. PTI itself was not able to participate in the past elections. Most of its candidates stood as independents and yet did fairly good showing. The bottom of this crisis in political domain is the animus between Asim Munir and Imran Khan. This dates back to their karmas of the last time Imran Khan was Prime Minister. He had sacked Asim Munir as the DG of the ISI, and he now is paying the price when Asim Munir is Field Marshal, and apparently the most important person and decision maker in Pakistan. The relations are so bad that the person who replaced Asim Munir as DGISI has also been charged and sentenced for 14 years in jail on treason.
Hmm.
Now, this brings us to the current context. In 2013, on sentencing of Imran Khan, PTI, the party that Imran Khan founded and led, their partisan went on demonstrations, and these demonstrations turned violent. And for the first time since Pakistan's founding, uh, generals' houses in Rawalpindi were attacked and vandalized. This had never happened in Pakistan, where army is held in high esteem and in awe. So the journalists, those that have been who have been sentenced now, uh, are paying the price for PTI's demonstrations,
Hmm.
and most of them have fled Pakistan, anticipating this crackdown, and have been sentenced for life in absentia.
Hmm.
Meaning it's very rare in a civilized world that the journalists are sentenced to life imprisonment en masse for their reporting. But then that this is Pakistan,
Yeah.
where rules are to them law in themselves.
Ambassador, do you really see Imran Khan ever coming out as a free man as far as Asim Munir continues to be there as the CDF?
Uh, Good question. As a diplomat, I would not say never,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it looks difficult. They can't stand each other, and the animus is so strong that for the first time, a politician's wife has also been sentenced on the same in the same jail.
Hmm.
Now, uh, this is pretty irreconcilable as it appears now. But then we have to just go back 20 years, and Pervez Musharraf and Nawaz Sharif were equally at loggerheads. Nawaz Sharif has sacked Pervez Musharraf when he was on a trip to Sri Lanka. The result was a coup against Nawaz Sharif, and Pervez Musharraf became the CEO of Pakistan. He sentenced Nawaz Sharif to death, and it was with Saudi and Emirati interventions that Nawaz Sharif was given a safe passage to the UAE, from where he made a return after Pervez Musharraf was ousted. And the current brother of current Prime Minister of Pakistan is the younger brother of Nawaz Sharif. So the history has different connotations, but I think Asim Munir is taking all the precautions to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself.
Hmm. All right. Well, we only hope the media censorship sees a better place there. Media has more freedom to report in Pakistan. But thank you very much, Ambassador, for speaking to us this morning. We appreciate you giving us your time.
Ingratiated himself to the foreign would have uh, saved Imran Khan from his wrath. Let's see where does it turn, but with a certain critical mass uh, protests
Hmm.
mounting, with insurgencies running galore, and with neighbors such as Afghanistan and Pakistan being at loggerheads with Pakistan,
Yeah.
economic conditions being as they are. Uh, I think Asim Munir's future is domestically quite uncertain.
All right. Thank you. Thank you once again, Ambassador. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. And moving ahead, viewers, a powerful earthquake shook southern Mexico on January 2, claiming 2 lives and causing damages in buildings. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 6.5 magnitude quake struck near the Pacific coast in Guerrero at a depth of 35 kilometers. As of midday, Mexico's seismological service registered 420 aftershocks, the strongest of which was a magnitude 4.7. Authorities reported landslides over highways, gas leaks, and damages to homes, public buildings, and hospitals around Guerrero. Let's listen in to some of the residents and also the governor of Guerrero.
Sentimos un fuerte sismo que nos hizo que las tejas se cayeran en este lugar. Aparte se cuartearon varios lugares, como pueden ver aquí. Esta parte de aquí se cuarteó aquí en San Marcos y la verdad sufrimos mucho daño, ¿no? Queremos...
Ella estaba preparando su café para que era temprano y de la nada pues se vino todo esto encima y pues lamentablemente ella era la que estaba en esa hora, sí que le tocó a ella estar en, pues yo creo que en un lugar pues que es peligroso porque pues como pueden ver pues ya estaba en la casita pues un poco pues ya pues deteriorada pues.
Desafortunadamente tenemos pues ya el reporte de una mujer fallecida por el colapso de su vivienda, una mujer de 50 años. Obviamente se le va a brindar pues todo el apoyo a sus familiares. Queremos decirles que por parte del gobierno del estado, desde muy temprano están todas las brigadas, estamos en territorio, yo estuve en Acapulco.
Moving ahead to news from Switzerland, which saw a deadly fire recently in Crans-Montana. We're now learning that sparklers placed on champagne bottles are believed to have caused that blaze at the packed bar in the Swiss ski resort. Authorities say the sparklers likely came too close to the ceiling, triggering the blaze that killed around 40 people and injured more than 100. Investigators are examining fire safety measures, sealing materials, crowd capacity, and whether emergency exits were accessible. Victims are still being formally identified using disaster victim identification procedures, with many injured remaining in critical condition. Rescue aircraft and helicopters have transferred severely burned survivors to specialized centers across Europe. Witnesses describe horrifying scenes, saying they are traumatized after seeing victims engulfed in flames. Families continue to wait anxiously for news as Switzerland prepares for a national day of mourning.
Ce qu'on a vu déjà, on était extrêmement choqués parce que on est arrivé au tout début. En fait, on est arrivé au tout début de l'incident. Les pompiers et la police n'étaient pas encore arrivés. Au début, on a vu une grosse foule et des cris. On a vu des gens taper aux vitres du bar en fait. Et là on a tourné la tête, on a vu des gens brûlés mais avec plus de cheveux, des vêtements vraiment... en fait ils n'avaient plus de vêtements, ils étaient tout brûlés. Ça faisait vraiment peur et c'est...
Moving ahead, let's give you some science news. Now, the first major meteor showers of 2026, the Quadrantidis, is set to peak on January 3, promising a striking display in the night sky. Known for bright meteors and occasional bolides, this shower is believed to originate from a disintegrated comet with historical roots dating back to 1490. The radiant of the Quadrantids lies in the constellation Bootes, with meteors streaking across the sky at speeds of up to 25 miles per second. The meteor shower will coincide with the year's first full moon, the Wolf supermoon, creating a spectacular celestial backdrop. Experts say the Quadrantids offers one of the first major astronomical highlights of this year, with enthusiasts across the globe keeping a close watch on the skies for this annual cosmic event. And that's all we have time for, but thanks for watching News X World for all international news and updates.